ugly. He said, you need to really be ugly in this movie. I went, I'm trying to make a comeback, man. I don't want to look ugly. I mean, I'm not the best looking guy to begin with. I mean, what do you mean? Anyway, well, I need you to gain like 15, 20 pounds and cut patches in your hair. Like the stress of prison, you lose your hair. I said, I was in prison, man. I didn't lose any hair. And, he goes, but you're not Leroy Lowe. Leroy Lowe is, he's scared of prison. So we had this long talk the first time I met him. All these things were said right in the beginning. And by the end of it, he said, well, why don't we read it? And I started to read it, and I didn't have any accent. I said, you can't read this without an accent. He said, I agree. Do one.
Make it happen.
Well, then I said, well, there's a lot of different Southern accents. And the next day he came back with a Kentucky accent that he had found. He said, learn it. It was at 2 o'clock, and he'll be back at 9, and we read the script, and it was all the way in.
If you talk about distinctive, though, in terms of director, this is so distinctive from the very first, from the credit sequence. So much has happened by the time we kick into
He's the most talented director in the world, I think, under 30.
And that's what we've been, I emailed Jayden, who's running the festival. I'm like, we have to get this movie. I can't believe it came to us. We were fortunate enough that it came to us.
It wasn't supposed to.
It wasn't supposed to. The address was wrong.
That's a mistake.
But I was just so surprised by how, I mean, you start talking Coen Brothers, there's even an Oh Brother, Where Art Thou vibe here. And not that it's like that at all, but just this sense of energy and the sense of actors having fun with it. And what I'm wondering is, this seems like such a different performance from you, but you were willing just to dive in, go off the deep end?
Well, you can only get it, as an actor, it's a drag unless you become like Clint or something, where you only can do what you're asked to do. I mean, if you're not
So he gave you good direction?
Well, no, if you're asked to play a villain, you gotta play a villain. You can't play Elliot Ness if you're cast as Al Capone. And
so from the moment you met him, you're like, I can do
I'm a
this.
brilliantly talented comedian. You didn't know how. Hector is actually.
Yeah, and Hector, can we talk a little? So the great moment in the film might be when, because people haven't seen this movie yet, but we have
Guard! That's messing myself.
We have the white supremacist who is suddenly placed in a cell with Hector. And they sit on their beds as far apart from each other in the cell. And Tom can't believe what's happening. Can't believe. Hector, how do you start to play this part? I mean, as we move forward in the story, it becomes as much about your friendship as much about your charisma. But in those first scenes, you just had to be you had to do so much without talking. And I'm wondering how you even begin to